All right, let's see what else we got. You mean chapter 4? Yes, I mean chapter 4. Yeah, for the Warriors references. Yep, it's in chapter 4. You haven't seen it yet. Okay. I know it's not Friday, boy. I know it's not Friday. I just have some pickups I wanted to show to my physical media family and didn't want to do a video because I'm lazy. So I just went live and we looked at them because that's what's up. Yeah, if you haven't seen John Wick Chapter 4 yet, there are a couple of really aggressive, hardcore riffs on the Warriors in that movie. You said that documentary is called it's called American Movie. So what's interesting about American Movie, it is a documentary about a guy, his name is Mark Borchardt. When you see him, you'll recognize him because he's kind of popped up in other pop culture things since that movie was made. And it's a documentary about he and his best friend trying to make a short film and the fact that it takes them 10 years to make that movie. It is a big inspiration for me, and it is highly recommended. It's on Blu-ray, it's on DVD. I believe it's out there to stream. I'm not sure where. I think I would check Tubi, of course. But yeah, that if we're talking best movies of all time, I'm right there. Nate, you should be giving me some likes. You need to tap that screen before you dip out. Give me some likes. Uh, look into it. If you look into it, please come on my one of my videos and let me know what you thought of it because it's really cool, interesting look at filmmaking, at friendship. It's funny, it's dramatic, it's really good. It's really good. Thank you for the follow, John. I really appreciate that. I can talk all day about documentaries. There's a lot that I like. If you're going to look at documentaries, also on Tubi, you can look at Family of Fear. It's a documentary about young people that come together in a haunted house attraction in Killen, Alabama, to sort of support each other, and it's funny, it's emotional, it's scary as hell. It's beautifully shot, directed by me. Family of Fear. That's on TV. It's free for you to watch. So if you look at that, let me know. Let me know. What's up, Kenny? There's another movie, another documentary. It is on Amazon. It's in. You'd have to search for it because it's in their I forget the section where it's located, but it's called Dramatique. It's Dramatique. It's a documentary about a murder mystery dinner theater that's struggling to stay open and about the artists, the singers, the actors that are trying to keep it afloat and keep it open without killing each other because it becomes very dramatic because that's what happens with a bunch of actors and musicians when they're slammed into a small space together. That one also directed by me. So that's two of my projects if you really want to see some stuff. It says the only documentaries I ever watched was the Ken Burns Civil War and the Veteran one or Vietnam one. I'm not a big fan of Ken Burns. I mean, I respect him because he goes so deep in his research, but I think for me, his movies are a little dry. I get a little bored of the pictures that just slowly float across the screen with narration. I like something a little more character driven. But yeah, I totally respect what he does. It's just not for me. What's up, Twin Flicks? What are you doing, buddy? I showed off some stuff I got from Vinegar Syndrome, and I didn't want to do a video here yet, so I just flipped on here and you know showed them. I'll flash them at you real quick so you can see because these are cool. I got the limited edition Death Wish 2 with the slip that just went out of print from Vinegar Syndrome. I had to snap it up because it was about to go out. You can still buy the standard edition, but look at this. It still has, of course, the original art right there. So I had to snap it up, and then I'll show this other movie and see if you know it because I don't think anyone else that's been through here knows it. This is from Yellow Veil, which is a partner of Vinegar Syndrome. It's called Calvaire. It is a French part of the new French extremism horror movies from the early 2000s. I love it. It was only on DVD for many years. You just got the Oh, you just got the Death Wish as well. Were you like me and you were kinda holding on it and waiting and then you saw the numbers start to drop? Because, yeah, the numbers were dropping fast, and it was in the 200s, and I thought, "Well, I better get this," and now it's gone, so I'm glad I did. Never seen it, but you've heard of it. It's really good, but not for the faint of heart. It is part of their extreme era of filmmaking, so if, you can't appreciate that stuff, I advise staying away, but if you really wanna see something experimental, I would go for it. I would go for it and give it a go because it's limited also, it's Yellow Veil, so they only do so many. They might do a standard edition, I don't know, but they'll do a standard edition. They'll be but literally, they're like $2 cheaper, so it's kinda silly. Yeah, let's see, worse than Martyrs. I don't know if any movie's worse than Martyrs, to be honest with you. Everyone, when you see all these, um, film people come on here and talk about, "Ooh, Martyrs is the most disturbing film of all time," or talk about how a Serbian film is the most disturbing film of all time. I'm like, "Boy, you gotta see Martyrs." I don't know that any movie is worse than Martyrs, so, yeah, I would think not. Um, but it's right there in that era, um, of movies, kind of in that high tension, it's more disturbing than High Tension, for sure, way more. Um, probably falls into n space similar to, like, Frontiers. If you've seen Frontiers, then it kinda falls into that kinda space. Let's see. Sorry, man. I'll stay longer next time. No problem. This was kind of unplanned. I didn't even promote that this was gonna happen. I just jumped on here and did it. So, yeah, just jumped on here to hang for a few minutes. Let's see. Take a look at this bald head. All right. So, what we have a couple of people in here. You guys share the like or share the live, guys. Let's get some more people in here. Let's get the word out. Let's talk a little more about movies. Um, thank you, Mike. Mike loves movies for being my top viewer. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Any other movie related questions that I can answer while I'm on here about filmmaking, documentaries, horror movies, whatever? I like all that stuff. That's my jam. That's my sweet spot. I mean, if I can get to it and you wanna see something from the collection, I'll try and find it. I'm not the best at all that running around stuff that Leo and Dan do. I can't do it, but, if there's something here you really wanna see, I'll try and get to it. So I just did let's see, I've got a stack here. I did Friday night, I did a show with some folks about B movies that we love. Doesn't necessarily mean they're good, but we love them. So I can show you my picks for Raw Force. This is, martial arts dudes going to a martial arts competition that end up fighting cannibals and zombies. Ridiculous. Ridiculous and very fun. This is a Vesta Online release. The race, it has early Charlie Sheen in it. It's about a guy who gets killed and come back as a ghost with a ghost car, and that ghost car is, like, better than a transformer. It can do anything. Very silly, very fun. Fun stuff. So, I also chose the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies 3, 4, and 5. Santa Claus, a killer dresses up like Santa Claus due to childhood trauma and kills people on Christmas. I love the first one. I really enjoy these entries. I don't like the second one, so it's kind of funny that the second one is not in this box. We have another Vinegar Syndrome release, Blood Games. This is a movie about an all-girl baseball team that's touring. They stop in a small town to play an all-male team, and they wipe the floor with them, while the male team is a bunch of rednecks, and they try to take violent revenge on the girls, but what they don't know is the girls are straight up badasses, and they handle their business. So, very fun movie. Really fun. Highly recommended. Let's see. You guys are quiet. Anybody left in here? Got a couple people. Got a couple of people. Hit me with some questions. I'll talk bad movies too. Here's something that you can't buy in the store, but if you can find it in a place, convention is a good spot. This is a very fun bad movie, B movie for sure. Fantastic Four from 1994, I think, 94, 95. So it was made by Roger Corman, and it was greenlit and made in order for, I believe it was 20th Century Fox at the time, to keep the rights to the franchise because they had to make a film every so many years with it in order to maintain the license. So they let Roger Corman make this movie. It was never released in any form, but the movie was completed. The special effects are hilarious in this movie, especially Mr. Fantastic's stretching effects. They're really fun. If you can find this movie, I recommend it. I'd rather watch this Fantastic Four than any of the other Fantastic Four movies that have been released. I think it's out on Blu-ray now. I wonder if Scream Factory will ever put that out. No, they won't. You talking about the Fantastic Four? No, they'll never put that out. What's up, Robzilla? 884. All right, because that's a rights thing. It was only made to maintain a license. It was never intended to get a release. So yeah, that ain't gonna happen. All right. So I picked up. I've got a few of these lying in this stack. Steel Dawn. So if you want to make like Mad Max, the Road Warrior, those movies so popular, dystopian science fiction. Well, let's throw a few bucks together, enough to pay Patrick Swayze to be in our movie before he's super, super popular, and you get Steel Dawn. This movie is ridiculous. The special effects are hilarious. I love the vehicle designs in this movie. Look at his headband. I mean, come on, this is really fun. It's a very fun movie. Worth taking a chance on too, because these Vestron releases are very cheap. Very ridiculous, yes. They did Captain America and Doctor Strange, but those movies were actually released. Those were made for TV movies, Captain America and Doctor Strange, and they originally did air on TV. So that's why they were able to do those. And if you remember, the Doctor Strange movie was released, but only limited. I didn't even get it because it sold out so fast. I think the Captain America movies, both of them, are out of print as well, but you can still find them around if you really want them. So that's the difference. That's the difference. All right, I also had this one in my stack. It is talking about Scream Factory. It is a premium Scream Factory release of a cheesy movie, and it's Alligator. Alligator stars Robert Forster, and it's about an alligator that gets dropped into a toilet and flushed into the sewer, and the little alligator gets impacted by chemicals and stuff and becomes a giant alligator and you know, takes on the city. In fact, busting up through the pavement to come to the surface and start killing people. Robert Forster is hilarious in this movie, like low key hilarious. He's playing it straight, but it's so funny in parts. And the animatronics are just beautiful. They are gorgeous, gorgeously cheap, right? There's a couple of good scenes with the alligator, but mostly they're just gorgeously cheap. Um, yeah, I'm not really bringing anybody on right now. I'm sorry because I don't know how much longer we're gonna go. I don't know how much longer we're gonna go. Um, I got my Halloween Mondo Macabro order finally today. Mondo Macabro's fun. They put out fun stuff. Um, alright, so I kinda enjoy collecting, like, subgenres of movies, and one of those is women in prison movies. I really enjoy collecting those from the '70s and '80s, and this one's called Escape from a Women's Prison, put out by Severin, and it is 100% exactly the same plot as you expect for the most part. So, these women one of these women gets falsely accused of a crime she didn't commit. She gets sent to a chain gang type prison, and she teams up with some other women to escape, and they end up going to, um, the governor's house and holding up inside his house, and I think that's kinda what makes it different is how they escape and what happens after they escape. This was put out by Severin, and it's really fun. It's a really fun woman in prison type of movie. Very cheesy. Says, "I gotta watch Bryan Cranston interview on Alligator." I do, it's on the bonus features, I do plan to oh my god, I'm sorry I missed, John Walsh, I'm sorry I missed your quote here. Mondo Macabro released an interesting Japanese horror, haunted Turkish bathhouse, part Yakuza movie, sex movie, and demonic horror movie. Okay, I'm down for that, my friend. That sounds great. That sounds fun. Alligator, excellent movie. Thank you so much. Also hated the Spider-Man late '70s TV show. Yeah, it's cheesy, and he had these bracelets that would shoot the webbing out, and a lot of times it would be in just a procedural type of movie, and you'd get a little bit of Spider-Man at the end. I've watched some of those on the internet. Captain America, horrible '80s canon film. Yes. And his shield was clear. Do you remember that? I've looked at that movie. His shield was not red, white, and blue. His shield was red and maybe a little blue, but it was clear. Watched Doctor Strange back in the day. Oh, wow. Alright. When it first came on TV. Alright. Steve Morris. What's up, uh, Flick friends? Good to see you, man. Umbrella put out, Megaforce. Megaforce is on my list, John. Megaforce is on my list to pick up. I need to get that one because it's another one like, Steel Dawn. It's just straight up cheesy sci-fi dystopian road warrior knockoff. I need to get that one big time. Man, you gotta see the Fantastic Four. You gotta see it. Zero Boys, Friday the 13th Part 3. Okay. Only watched the first one back in the '80s. Silent Night, Deadly. Sorry I missed you guys. It wasn't popping up on my screen, so I'm watching. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. I was just doing a quick little live to talk about some of these little pickups I've got, but I'm going to do a video for. I've done a video. It's going up tomorrow if you missed it. You get to watch Bryan Cranston's interview. Yeah, that is a bonus feature on the Alligator release. I need to watch that because Bryan Cranston was like a production assistant or something like that on that movie, and I love that he's willing to give up time to talk about it. That's just awesome. What's up, Loriana? Thank you for joining. Yeah, I need to watch it. I did just put in the movie and watch the alligator movie, and the transfer, you guys, is stunning. It's better than the movie probably deserves, to be honest. Megaforce is very bad movie. Yeah, it is. It is. You wanna know what's funny is I remember as a kid, my grandmother used to when she would go to yard sales, which she loved to do, or like a garage sale, depending on what area of the country you live in, what they would call it, and she would find boxes of old comic books and just buy them for me because I loved comics, and some of those old comics had these Megaforce ads on the back cover, and you could order, like, a Megaforce, like, membership kit that had, like, dog tags and membership cards or something like that, and that the visual of that ad for Megaforce always stands out to me. 1990s Captain America is hilariously bad. Yes, it is. Very hilariously bad. I should probably get those movies, honestly. They would go so well with my Fantastic Four. They really would. Let me get a drink here. Alright, I'll show you guys something else. Here's a good one. You'll like this one, I think. This is Revenge of the Ninja. This might be my favorite bad movie. It's another canon movie, and you'll notice that this movie, maybe you'll notice it. I'll show it to you close. Is signed by the director, Sam Firstenberg. Sam Firstenberg, if you don't know that name right off, you should because he directed a little movie called Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. Um, so Revenge of the Ninja, to me, when I would watch that movie on repeat on, like, basic cable, I think USA or one of those channels used to show it a lot. Um, it has Sho Kosugi in it, who is actually a ninja, and he did movies for Canon, but he also is a stunt coordinator. He did I think the most recent thing that I can remember, now I'm sure if I went and looked on his IMDb, I would see that he's done a lot more, but the most recent thing was that Ninja Assassin movie from a few years ago. Um, but he does fight choreography and all that stuff, and his son is in action movies now doing that. And his son also, I think both of his sons did American Ninja Warrior, I think, also. But anyway, that movie to me as a kid was my first superhero movie that I really loved because he was a ninja, he had to take revenge for the killing of his family, and he could disappear in a puff of smoke. He could climb walls like Spider-Man. He had gadgets like Batman. Like, anything Batman had has nothing on all the gadgets that Sho Kosugi's ninja had in Revenge of the Ninja. And the fight, there's a big wide fight scene, and it's shot wide, which Marvel never does. Marvel will not shoot their fight scenes wide because they're too scared to actually do any real choreography. Um, was actually pretty good. Not a great movie, but it's fun. That might literally be my favorite B movie of all time. It's so much fun. I recommend you find it. Sho Kosugi was a badass back in the '80s. He sure was. And if you watch that Ninja Assassin movie, he's in it, and he's still a badass in that movie too. Canon docu, Electric Boogaloo is excellent. Yes, it is. It is really good. It's really good. So if you wanna look up some '80s cheeseball movies, I recommend that. It's kinda quiet over here on TikTok. So the last one I had in my list from the other day when I was doing this is, a movie I had not heard of. It was a Cold Buy that I bought from, uh Vinegar Syndrome, and unfortunately, if you're interested in seeing it, it's gonna be difficult because it's a VSA, a Vinegar Syndrome archives release, and once those go out of print, they don't reprint them. They just don't. It's called Savage Dawn, and you can see it's in the bottom loading slip box. Really pretty artwork. Savage Dawn is an early Lance Henriksen movie, and I like the sort of biker subgenre from the early '80s and Billy Jack and stuff like that. I enjoy those looking back at those movies. And he plays an ex-military guy, I don't know if he's Army or whatever, and he's heading to a small town to visit, a war buddy and the war buddy's daughter who kinda had a thing for him, of course, because there has to be that, only to find out that that small town is being overrun by a biker gang, and he has to kick their ass. It's just fun, cheesy '80s grindhouse, and I recommend. I liked the subgenre, I like the actor, so I thought I would give it a go, and it is one of those pleasure that, blind buys that you take a chance on and you're really happy for it. First saw Kasugi in that Cannon movie, Black Eagle, where he fought Jean-Claude Van Damme, who played the bad guy as a Russian. Yeah. Um, I didn't like that Black Eagle movie so much because when I think Sho Kosugi, I'm looking for Sho Kosugi as the ninja, and he wasn't really a ninja in that one, but I should probably give it another go. As for the bikers, you're waiting for the Kino release, Blu-ray of Stone Cold. I saw that was announced that they're putting out Stone Cold. It also stars Lance Henriksen. Someone else is in that though, right? Um, That one is over the top Henriksen. Someone else is in that with him, though. Isn't it another is there another name in that movie? I saw that they announced Stone Cold Kino announced Stone Cold for Blu-ray. I'm kinda surprised they're not doing a 4K, to be honest. Um, let's see. So, yeah, this that was the last one of these. I have a lot of other B movies in my collection, though. We just did sort of basically a top 10, and if you guys and I know my YouTube friends over here, a lot of you guys don't do TikTok, but I wish you would, because every Friday night at 8 o'clock CST, I do a group chat called Friday Night Film Talk with a handful of other film collectors here on TikTok, and you guys I would love to have you guys join. I might try to do some kind of dual stream so my friends on YouTube could jump in. 'Cause I've got my boys here that are always in here to chat with me, and I really appreciate it. We've got a little group going, a little community. Got, John Walsh, who is always here. Silver Bullet is usually here, but he is in a much different time zone, so I wouldn't expect to see him. Um, Gangsta owns 456. Yeah, that's a great one. I love that one. Gangsta owns 456. So, you guys, we've been going for a while. I think it's probably time to bring this thing to an end. Um, if you are watching this on YouTube and you missed the John, if you missed the unboxing, that unboxing video is gonna be up tomorrow. It's gonna be set as a, uh, um, a premiere so that I can jump in the chat with you guys when it premieres. So we'll chat about it, and you guys can let me know what you think of the pickups. So at this point, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate the gifts. I appreciate the conversation, the great questions and answers that I got. And until next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf, share with your friends and family, and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV at home. I'll see you guys on the next one.